crazy, crazy weekend, right? Let's get into my team, the Gators, right? Gators, they hit a reset. We bring in Jon Sumrall, one of the other top hottest names that was out there, right? That's going to be coming to Gainesville. Wasn't the top choice. I think we all know that. Jon Sumrall, the Tulane head coach, who's been really quiet in building a powerhouse at Tulane, right? And he knows the expectation that is going to be put on him at Florida. And he knows what previous coaches have done and what they've lacked, right? He knows Florida tried to get Lane Kiffin, right? And had to settle for Jon Sumrall. But needless to say, we landed the guy. We landed the guy who got substance, right? Sumrall's going to bring discipline. He's going to bring development. He's going to bring toughness, especially when it comes to a strong defensive identity. And when you think about Florida Gators and you think about all their national championship teams, whenever that defense has been strong, that team has been good, right? That team has been good. Now, it's not a splash hire, but it's a smart hire, right? And I was glad we at least able to get this guy, right? Now, a lot of people might have expected the flashy name, but Florida has hired someone that's going to be a builder, right? Not a celebrity, right? Maybe that's not what we need, right? I'm a little gun-shy because of everything that's happened when you think about, the McElwains, the Muschamps, the Dan Mullins, the Billy Napiers, right? So I'm more of a taking a wait and see kind of approach with this. But one thing I do know about Jon Sumrall, he's got to bring culture. He's got to bring toughness. He's got to bring discipline, which is what this team needs, right? Development and accountability also, right? Sumrall is a proven, really program rebuilder when you think about it, right? He took Tulane, a school with limited resources, and turned them into a consistent winner, something they haven't done since the early 2000s. Let me repeat that. Something Tulane hasn't done since the early 2000s, right? He inherited no NIL advantage, no SEC level type of talent, no recruiting pipeline, no national search buzz, and he still won, right? Imagine what he could do at Florida with Florida athletes, with winning the state. Remember, Cristobal, great recruiter. Who knows what's happening at Florida State, right? We need to get back to winning the state. Imagine what he could do with the facilities, the NIL, the brand of Florida, right? Now, defense is his identity, and defense is what he's going to try to bring back to the Swamp, right? Florida's biggest weakness, really since Dan Mullen era, has been defense. A lack of toughness, bad tackling, no gap discipline. Our DBs haven't been the greatest. And remember, when we've had great DBs, we've had a great defense, right? Kentucky, we all see what happens. They just fired Coach Stoops. We all see what going 1-4 against Kentucky, that's not great. We need a physical mentality. We need NFL-style fronts. We need a heavy emphasis on stopping the run. And Florida is about to get that with Jon Sumrall based on what he's shown he's been able to do. From what I know, it's a player's first coach, right? It doesn't matter in regards to the portal era, right? He's someone that builds strong relationships, has honest communication, right? He has a culture where players have buy into it, right? You think about, again, getting 3-star, 4-star type of talent. Now he's going to inherit a program that could naturally get those 4-star, 5-star type of guys. Remember, we're still the only team with, out of all the college openings, really haven't had any decommitments, right? Now, when you look at the SEC East landscape, it's been dominated by Georgia, right? And then you got Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky, okay, inconsistent, right? We don't need to be perfect, but we just need to be able to compete, right? We need some level of stability, right? So Jon Sumrall's going to have his hands full. Now, I'm curious who's the offensive coordinator going to be, because we got to get DJ fixed. We got to get DJ fixed, and that is going to be a huge part of his job, right? What else? He brings some SEC DNA. Before Tulane, Sumrall was at Ole Miss. He was at Kentucky, right? He was in Alabama, right? So he knows the type of roster building that is needed, right? The trench work that is needed, the SEC recruiting strategy that is needed, right? Now, we'll see how this all pans out, but Jon Sumrall is going to be able to come here, hopefully provide some long-term stability, right? And hopefully change this program. Hopefully this is not a 2-year experiment, but more of like a 10-year coach, so to say, right? So that's my hope when it comes to Jon Sumrall and what that looks like going forward. But it's going to be